Today I'm going to be talking about my experience of university and Michaelmas term. We call it Michaelmas term, but it's basically just term one. I'm going to be sharing things I've learned, things that I want to take with me to next term, you know. So let us get into it. Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Additti and I am a first year accounting and finance student at LSE. Okay, so firstly I'm just going to go through my modules because I feel like I've mentioned some of the modules I've done, but I haven't really gone into them, and like my mum was telling me this, I feel like I haven't actually explained the modules I do. So I'm going to do that before I do anything else. I have EC1A3. I feel like I've mentioned that module like a billion times, but EC1A3 is my economics module, and it's the quantitative module. I had the choice between qualitative and quantitative for econ, so I chose the quantitative one. Next time I do the quantitative macro. This term I did the quantitative micro, and then next year I also do the quantitative ones. So it's kind of like a stream that continues. I also do AC 100 as an accounting and finance student. AC is accounting, and AC 100 is first year accounting. I had to do that, like that was compulsory. Then we have MA 107. MA is maths. 107 is just the course code. That is like pure maths. A lot of it's basically just A-level maths with like a little bit added on, so it's okay. Then we have GUI 121. This was my outside option. GUI is geography and the module is called sustainable development, so it's all about sustainable development. So I chose it because I did A-level geography. You'll know if you've watched my previous videos. It kind of just made sense for me to take that one as an outside option as opposed to things like law or like philosophy, management, that sort of thing. A load of people in my year did take management, but I don't know, I was just more interested in geography. Now let's go on to the things I've actually learned. So stay on top of your work. Stay on top of as much work as you can and don't let yourself fall behind. Honestly, your future self is gonna thank you. Make sure that you do the work when you're supposed to do it, and it's honestly going to help you during term. They set that work with a particular deadline for a reason, so honestly just try and do as much of it as you can. But if it comes to the point where you need to like not do the work for like a certain deadline, don't do it, that's okay. So like a reading or like watching lectures, something like that. But make sure you make a note of it and come back to it as soon as you can. Don't let it build up. And another thing I've got written down is equally take care of yourself. Taking care of yourself is more important than the work, but at the same time try to balance it out. You know when you should be doing work and you know when you should be taking care of yourself. That should come intuitively. So listen to yourself, listen to your gut feeling and go with that. In terms of taking care of yourself, sleep on time. So many of my friends do not sleep on time. They'll be sleeping at like 4 a.m. Like just make sure you eat well, you know, just like do things that you know are good for your mental health. Make sure that you do incorporate time for them. Okay, another thing that I've learned is that personally I much prefer problem sets to readings. I find it difficult to just sit there and read and try to absorb information that way. For me, problem sets are a lot more engaging and you kind of know how long they're going to take. Like for me, a reading, I don't know how long it's going to take, and usually it takes a lot more time for me than a problem set. So personally, I like problem sets. You may be the other way around, so think about that and make sure you do consider these things when picking modules for next year, or if you get to pick modules for next term, think about these things. I think first year is a really good time for experimentation. For me, first year only counts for 1/9 of my whole degree, so it's a good way of being able to see where my strengths are and where my weaknesses are and taking that into second and third year. Okay, the next one is, I really like the fact that I put socializing over studying in the very first few weeks of term. I think that was a very important thing to do. Like you can study, you can catch up after, but those few weeks are so important because everyone makes friends at that time. And if you're just sat in your room studying or you're just in the library by yourself, that's not gonna happen. And by the time that you do realize that you should have made friends, it may be too late. So make sure you do spend those first few like weeks just socializing and like getting to know people as much as possible. Another thing that I've been doing, because I commute, I'm gonna make a video on that by the way. Because I commute, I think that it gets hard to see people unless you willingly want to see people. So it's really important to have some sort of system in which you are regularly seeing people. Like, I'm naturally extroverted, and not seeing people kind of takes a toll on me. Like, I just need to interact and have conversation. So what I do is, like, I designate a different day of the week to different people. Making sure that you do see people regularly is a really important thing if you're naturally extroverted like me, and if it's important to you. And also if you're a commuter. In halls, it's different because you're around these people all the time. Whereas as a commuter, you come home and you're suddenly away from everyone. It's kind of like sixth form in that way. So yeah, think about that sort of thing as well. University isn't just about studying, it's about knowing how to manage these things as well. And again, coming back to the mental health point, seeing people is important for my mental health, so that's something I prioritize. But I will say about that though, do know when to put your work first, because ultimately you are there to study, you are there to get grades. Yeah, just be really careful of that as well. Make sure you balance. Balance is so important. Okay, now this is more study related, but make use of office hours, especially in term time. My friend was like to me, oh yeah, you should use office hours. And honestly, after I did, it actually helped me so much. And what I mean by using office hours is basically just booking a slot, like an appointment with your teacher, to discuss any material that you're having difficulty with. And with the whole thing about doing it within term time, for me it's the Christmas holidays right now, and like you can visibly see the support structures have gone down a lot. Like, there isn't that much help available, so it's a lot better if you use these office hours beforehand, because the teachers are a lot more readily available because it is during term time. Okay, now my last one is about applying to like work experience. So for me, I have to apply to something called Spring Weeks. I don't have to apply, but it's good to apply. And Spring Weeks are basically work experience placements that you can apply for as a first year, and usually they're for investment banking and finance and that sort of thing. And let's just say the application process is intensive, and there is real power in starting early. You have a lot less stress when you start early because you know you're kind of like ahead of the curve. During the start of term, you won't have as much work to do as you will later on in the term with like assignments and formatives. It just works a lot better. Like, it should kind of be on your mind as soon as you start university. Have your CV and a foundation cover letter ready before you even start university, and that's going to do you so much good. I had my CV ready before university and that helped me a lot. So having something similar for yourself is a good idea. I know applications to things can be really draining, so you may want to put it off. I get that, but honestly, just start early. Having said that though, there are still Spring Weeks available. So if you're in the same year as me and you're watching this, there are a lot of Spring Weeks that close in January as well, so you still have time to make an application. But yeah, I really thought that this video would be longer, but I guess not. I have nothing else to say on this term. I'm really looking forward to next term, first Lent term at LSE, but I feel like it's going so quickly and I don't want it to go quickly because only 3 years at university. I want to make the most of every single second. So even though I'm glad that I'm on break right now, I'm also kind of sad because it means that one whole term of first year is gone. But I guess that's life. Yeah. So thank you for watching this video. If you have any questions or anything you want to say, please leave it in the comments down below. Also, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And please do subscribe as well. I've got to go. I need to eat lunch, then I need to go to an appointment, so I need to run. But I hope this video helps you in some way. If you have any requests as well, by the way, then please leave them in the comments below and I'll try my best. Thank you again. Bye!